I didn't even recognize him. His eyelashes and eyebrows were all burned off. He had flash burns all over his face.
He made such a sacrifice for our country. I'm proud of him that he did it.
Jerral Hancock grew up on the west side of Los Angeles. Jerral joined the Army. He was sent to Fort Knox, Kentucky to train as a tank driver. In 2006, Jerral was deployed to Baghdad, where he and 3 other soldiers in his tank crew patrolled the area around the Green Zone, setting up barriers and helping to bring stability to an area that was under frequent mortar attack. In 2007, Memorial Day fell on May 28th. He had insisted his family celebrate with a barbecue, even though he was far away in Iraq.
So in the middle of my barbecue, in the middle of my dominoes game, I get the phone call from the Army. And I thought they were surprising me with the Memorial Day / Jerral's 21st birthday phone call, and they weren't.
I just saw her face and she started crying and she said, Jerral got blown up.
Jerral's tank had rolled over an explosively formed penetrator. With the tank disabled, Jerral was trapped in the driver compartment as diesel fuel burned around him. It took an hour and a half for Jerral's crewmates to get him out. He lost his left arm, sustained burns over 30% of his body, and had been paralyzed below the chest from shrapnel lodged in his spine. Jerral underwent burn treatment at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas, followed by physical therapy in California. Jerral and his family, who would become his caretakers, soon realized how much their lives had changed.
I've never been around anyone with disabilities, so it was all a learning experience for all of us.
I'm just glad we still have him, you know. And I know it's frustrating for him, but he works through that too.
Jerral and his 2 young children moved into a mobile home in Lancaster, California, so that he could be close to his mother and stepfather. The hallways were too narrow for Jerral to enter either of his children's rooms in his wheelchair. Most days, Jerral would remain in his bed for fear of being a burden.
The first couple of years were really tough. I was pretty depressed. I came to the conclusion that, you know, this is my new life and I can either live it, if not for me, for the guys that spent an hour and a half in a burning tank pulling me out. They risked their lives to save mine.
In 2013, Jerral was asked to speak about his experience to a history class at Lancaster High School. The students were so inspired by his sacrifice that they started Operation All the Way Home with the goal of building Jerral a more accessible home.
It seemed like it might be something that was 5 or 10 years off, but they hustled and they raised money fast.
When I heard about the students' efforts, I knew the Gary Sinise Foundation could help, and we quickly provided a check to help get the project moving.
So we're going to give you $60,000 today.
Followed by a Lieutenant Dan Band fundraising concert. With the help of the local community, Jerral's house was built, and on May 29th, 2015, he received his new home.
The Gary Sinise Foundation has been so helpful in all this. I mean, more than I can even say, and I'm very grateful.
Jerral Hancock is engaged to be married, and this new home will provide a place where Jerral, his children, and his future wife can find happiness and independence. At the Gary Sinise Foundation, we serve our nation by honoring our defenders, first responders, their families, and those in need. To learn more about the Gary Sinise Foundation and how you can support other veterans like Jerral Hancock, visit GarySiniseFoundation.org.